Hey, this is going to be a quick video. I'm just going to go over the method I use to make uh, this type of regen-like chamber. I think it's about what you have. And again, this isn't going to be something that is like a definite use this method. This is just going to be a tool that I'll share with you guys so you can have it in your arsenal. But to start, I'm just going to actually roll all of this back till I'm left with just this profile for the chamber. And this is right now a sheet. It's not as solid, but it really doesn't matter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a plane. This isn't technically a requirement because you can just use the plane from the default coordinate system that it gives you, but I'll make one there, and that's in line with the center line of the chamber. And with that, I'm going to go to surface. I'm going to go to or actually curve rather. I'm going to go to intersection curve, tap on the surface defining the chamber, and then I'm going to use that plane, and that'll create this blue line following the profile of the chamber. That curve is well, actually there are two of them because the plane goes through both sides of the chamber, but anyway, we will only use one of them. And from there, I'm going to extrude the that line, and I'm going to select a different vector so it goes straight up. I'm arbitrarily going to have it be, however long it is, so it's way over the end length of the fins. So obviously this isn't what it's going to end up looking like. We're going to trim it down to be the actual exact fin length that we are targeting. So to do that, I'm going to go to curve. I'm going to do, or actually not curve, I keep getting them mixed up. Go to surface, go to offset surface, there it is. Click on your chamber again, and this will create a surface at some distance away from the surface you click on. It's kind of like an offset line that you'd use in sketching, except it does a surface. Right now it's making this offset surface on the interior. I'm going to use this reverse direction to make it happen on the exterior. And let's say we want a 1/4 inch fin length. I'll hit that, and then it'll make that offset surface at a 1/4 inch. And then now we have two surfaces, one for the original chamber and the second one for this offset. And I'm going to use this offsetted one to trim down this fin surface. So to do that, I'm going to go to trim sheet. I'm going to hit the fin sheet as the target, and then the boundary as this one, this offset surface. I'm going to select the region as discard because whatever you click on, whatever part of the sheet you click on will be what it's referring to when it says select region. So I clicked on this outside bit, so I'm going to discard it. If I were to originally click on this in-between bit between the chamber wall and the offset surface, I would select it as keep because I want that to stay. That's a little trick that it doesn't really explain, but anyway, I'm going to trim that down. And if I hide that offset surface, you're left with this profile. And one thing that may or may not matter is this little bit on the edge. If you look at the offset surface, you can see that the fin goes beyond it a little bit, and that's a factor, or that's an artifact of how the offset surface was made. It wasn't made, actually, I think I can actually change that, maybe. I'm not going to bother with it, but it shouldn't really matter with this because it kind of extrapolates that extra distance when it's trimming it down, so it shouldn't really matter. You'll just see a little bit of the edge there when I thicken this fin, which will thicken the fin to make it an actual body by hitting that thicken tool, clicking on the fin sheet, and you can change the offset. Right now I have it as 0.03 and then minus 0.03. In that way we can have the thickness on either side of that surface. So if we're only to have one thickness, one offset thickness, and then set the other one to 0, it will only thicken the right side of that surface. But we want it to be even and symmetrical, so we'll do both. And then, yeah, there you go. So that's how you thicken it, and it will create a body. You can tell it's a body because now it's grayed out a little bit, and I can trim down, or I can hide that trim sheet, and you're left with just the body. And there's that little edge thing that I was talking about where it extrapolates that trim. And then from there you can just, I like using pattern geometry for patterning this type of stuff because it's a little bit less computationally intensive than pattern feature. So I'm going to just click on that, specify vector, let's say that's fine, and then 20, whatever you need. And there you go. That's pretty much it. And I can even, if I want it to be thorough, I can go back here, I can thicken this chamber here, and in this case I'll just have it go on one direction away from the surface. Let's make it 0.7 to make it a little bit thicker and more obvious. And then I can boolean, let me see where, yeah, there's the boolean. I can do pattern geometry, this thicken. Yeah, this is actually something that's sort of common with working with surfaces. Let me fix that real quick. It happens when things are on, like, they're either perfectly, or it happens when things are intercepting at a point, I believe, and that happens if you're very precise with how things are I want to say overlapping. It's a weird little thing that pops up from time to time, and the best way I found to get rid of that is to have it to have things overlap with some amount of thickness, so they're not overlapping at a point or at a line. That seems to be where you get that issue the most. So really quickly, I'm just going to unite up these rest of these bodies. Make sure I click on the original one, and there's your chamber. Hope that helps. Let me know if that makes sense or any questions.